We're out on the Regal XO today for our reconnaissance mission, and we have our first mate, Matey, with us, coming along for the ride. So far on the interior canals here in southwest Cape Coral, hasn't been too bad. We had about a 5-foot storm surge, came up over the seawalls. You can see some of the dock repair boats that are staged along here. And what I first noticed is a lot of the boats are out of the water. They're not in their slips. A lot of the houses that I used to see boats at. So people did heed the warning and pull their boats out wherever they can. But you're limited on space and where you can put a boat around here if you don't have a trailer to get it out of here. So it is high tide, so that's going to offer us extra opportunity to get close to some of the barrier islands, the sandbar islands and all. I'd like to check out Picnic Island and see how that made out. It's a little bit windy, but not too bad today. It looks like that dinghy got tossed around a little bit. Got some palm fronds on that sailboat, but so far so good. Some furniture still tossed around. I'm guessing a lot of people aren't even here, out of season over here in the middle of October. You see some debris in the water. It's a Tupperware container. And as we get closer to the open water, I'm starting to see some damage to the pull screens. They were a little more exposed to the wind coming out of the west. So here's some of the worst damage I've seen so far. That was just recently rebuilt after Hurricane Ian. Some more screen damage over here. This boat top got bagged up. You need to take those bimini tops down when we're having a tropical storm. The wind gets underneath them and just rips them apart. This guy's lucky he's getting his screen replaced already. Coming up on the Cape Coral Big Tiki Tour boat. Looks like he did okay. He's a little ruffled up top. But always see him out on the waters doing tours. Hey Cap, you ever need a fill-in captain, let me know. Now we're passing the southwest entrance canal here at Cape Coral. Right around that corner is Cape Harbor Marina and Rumrunners. And here we have another big screen that got destroyed. Again, this was just rebuilt. I'm going to say maybe a few months ago it was finished. Now this beautiful boat. This guy's smart. He tied up his boat to the dock even though he's on a lift. Keeps it from floating away when the tide gets high. So here we are coming up on Rumrunners Restaurant and Cape Harbor, Safe Harbor Marina and Cape Harbor condos there. So the water was way up over the concrete seawall here, and hopefully it didn't get into the restaurant. It's a nice place to visit here. This is the gas dock here. The pump out is right over here. I'm guessing that's not going to be working again after just getting fixed after Ian also. I'll have to find out. And coming up on all the police boats. All the towboats over here, Boat US towboat. And here we got one of my favorite tiki bars, Venture Out. Hopefully they will be opening soon. And a few doors down is Cape Coral Boat Rentals, which I work at occasionally. And this is the Chiquita Lock, which is now open since Hurricane Ian. It doesn't operate. They're going to be removing that shortly. And here we go. There's towboats. More sheriff boats. Nice to see some fishermen out. Got some new dock builds going on over here. I don't think this was storm damage. So now we're exiting Southwest Canal here, and these guys got hit really hard in Hurricane Ian. But the worst winds were out of the west, so they were protected from the mangroves. The wind was blowing this way. So around this corner is Tarpon Landing Marina, and the Naughty Mermaid Tiki Bar Restaurant, Marker 32. So I'm going to go check that out by the gas dock. Coming up on Tarpon Landing. Oh, and look what's coming out. Tiki Pub, Fort Myers Beach. So this is where they went. I worked for them for about a hot minute. They don't look too bad over here. Marina seems to be in good shape. Looks like the gas dock is open, I believe, operational. And, oh, that's the FWC, Fish and Wildlife Commission, Florida. Yeah, they don't look too bad. Even these docks over here, piling's held out. However, across over here on this side, we got a sailboat aground way in the back of the harbor. That's really shallow over there too. So this is usually a protected anchorage, but with the winds we had here out of the west, right here, you're really exposed. So those boats didn't have much of a shot. We have another dock barge over here going out. I'm sure these guys are going to be really busy. Heading out to the Caloosahatchee over here by the slow zone, manatee zone, and then the miserable mile. I'll head over by St. James City, check that out. So coming up the Caloosahatchee, the Intracoastal Waterway, you see in the distance a large ferry boat. All the boats that went up the river for protection from the hurricane are heading back to their home port. Not sure which one that is, too far away, but it might be the one over by Captiva. The mangroves don't look too bad. Hard to tell if that's the old damage from Ian or not. They're still green a little bit. See, time will tell. Some brown spots. It takes a long time for that to grow back once it gets destroyed. All right, we're in the manatee zone, Intracoastal Waterway. This is the slow speed zone that leads up to the miserable mile. 4 little sandbar islands here on the side. They got devastated by Ian. Curious how they made out with this storm. Well, this island certainly didn't get any better. There's pretty much no sand left on this island. Just the coral rock. Used to have a nice dock out back. This island was actually for sale at one point, right before Hurricane Ian. And it got destroyed so much that who's going to buy it now? Nothing left to it, just some rock. There used to be a building on that many, many years ago. And if it's 15 feet wide now, it's a lot. So it's a beautiful Saturday, a little windy. There are some boats out, taking advantage of the first weekend after Hurricane Milton came through. I'm sure a lot of boats are doing the same thing I'm doing, just exploring, doing a recon. Now we're passing Shell Island, which hard to tell. We're at high tide, but I noticed the depths seem to be a little bit shallower when we're coming along it here, especially at the very northern eastern end of this. But looks like most of the beach is intact, but there might be some shoaling closer to shore. And here's the western end of it. Didn't completely decimate the mangroves. There's some greenery left there. The beach looks nice and clean. Again, this is high tide, so usually there's a sandbar that comes out right here. It's really shallow. Got some warning markers right here. There's a white PVC pipe and then an old broken piling. But seems to be all right. What I can tell though, it's a lot shallower back in here. I can see the lighter sand. I used to be able to scoot through here right past that piling at higher tides, but it looks a lot shallower now. Could be just sediment coming down the river. And this next island, part of Shell Island, the second spoil island here on the waterway. This used to be one of our favorite spots to pull the boat up, like right over here. It looks like we lost some of that sandbar. We got a tree right here in the water. And we're about 11 feet right now, this far out from the island. But yeah, definitely a change in the sandbar there. Just got to be careful. A lot of boats pull up here and people sit on the beach, just watch the boats go by. Cleaned off the island quite a bit. That's interesting. Opened it up a little bit, got rid of all the down wood, just washed through. Looks a little more inviting, although all these trees are dead. Yeah, more of a beach on the western end here to pull up with a boat. It was not like that before this hurricane, so this looks like a new landing spot. You can pull your boat up on the back side, you got a lot more open beach. Really just shells and rock. It's a little tough on the feet. But watch out for the debris. We have a big tree here that wasn't here before. That must have blown off this island or another island. I don't remember seeing that over here, or maybe this is part of the island. It just looks so different. I think we lost a lot of sand right here. Interesting. All right, next stop is Picnic Island. We'll see how she fared. One of our favorite stops. Caught up to that tour boat, ferry boat, and it is the one from Captiva, Lady Chadwick, up ahead. Making her way back to Captiva, which got hit pretty hard again too. All right, here we are at Picnic Island, and surprisingly, it looks better than it did. Look at all that available beach you can pull up to. It appears the west winds and waves washed everything off of the island, all that debris that we had from Ian. It's looking really nice. Looks like a nice destination. We were limited. There was a lot of wood and debris and old broken dead mangroves. But now we got a beachfront. This is the whole east side of the island. The lagoon's around the other side. I'll check that out next. But yeah, it's looking good. Nice and clean. The depths still seem to be okay over here. And the signpost on that tree on the island still has a couple signs on it. It is a clean island. Look at it. Nice light sand. Looking forward to that. There's already a couple boats and people on the sandbar lagoon side walking their dog. And it's still shallow over here, so be careful. There's the lagoon, which has definitely changed shape. Looks like the point got washed away, moved around a little bit. We're going to follow one of our old tracks in here. You know, it's really shallow even at high tide, which is what we have right now. So let's see what it is coming in. Try to get to the lagoon. Yeah, it's really shallow just as you turn in from marker 9 over there. I only had about 2 feet. See if we can get in there. I would only come in here at high tide anyway with this boat. Yeah, it's really shallow. I'm showing just over a foot on the depth finder, so I think I'm going to avoid going in there at all but the highest of tides. Maybe try it with a pontoon or a smaller boat, but not the Regal. Right, matey? Right, pup? Those guys made it in okay. All right, off to St. James City. All right, heading in the inlet, St. James City, towards Monroe Canal. We'll head up towards Phuzzy's Boat Shack and see how they made out. The guy lost his roof. All the shingles blew off. Got lots of boarded up houses. Probably trying to protect their windows. Shutters still down on a lot of them. Good idea. A lot of damage aids navigation. Going into Monroe Canal. So far, not too bad. Sure, they got water on the first floor, but most of these houses are built up one level. Most, but not all. Debris like that you got to look out for. A lot of these houses were built up after Ian, but they still look a little wobbly. But nothing like Ian destruction over here. This is boat canopy. Good idea to take those covers off. This acts like an umbrella. I tell you, it is amazing how some of these places weathered this storm. During Ian, that catamaran was flipped upside down on the house. So obviously they did not get as much as Ian. And they were pretty exposed over here. Oh, this poor guy didn't make it. That's the only one I've seen so far. Coming up on Phuzzy's Boat Shack. Now they don't have really any power on the island here. I heard about 100% of the people were out. So you hear generators everywhere. But here we are, the docks, the new docks for Phuzzy's. Some debris in the water here. I don't even know what that is. It's like the wall or roof of something. Phuzzy's has their umbrellas out. Their roof is a little bit straggly. They're up a little high, so it shouldn't be too bad. Look like they're cleaning up. And here's a pleasant surprise. Key Tiki, open for business. That's great to see. And it is crowded. There's another guy who didn't make it. Coming up on the end of Monroe Canal, at least as far as I could go around the bend. Just past Bob and Ann's Boatyard. Over here is the old Ragged Ass Saloon, which is now Market 3 Cantina. I'm sure they got hit pretty hard. And then York Road Marine, right over here. With still some damaged boats from prior hurricanes. Yeah, they can't get a break over here. This restaurant. What a shame. Best of luck, guys. So overall, not too bad here for St. James City. Looks like they got about 4 feet of water over the dock wall. So some houses got it worse than others, but definitely not the devastation that they had during Ian. So we're thankful for that. So let's move on down and I think we're gonna try heading towards Sanibel, check out Gramma Dots, see how they made out. Okay, we're coming in the inlet here by Gramma Dots. And got some debris floating. They definitely did not do too well over here. Need to watch the depths in here too. Hope this isn't attached to anything. We got some erosion here up on land. And these houses were still being rebuilt after Ian. I'm sure they had some water in there again. And I don't know, but it looks like the sandbar is gone that used to be here in the inlet. Did they dredge that out, or did the storm do that? Look at that. I don't see it anymore. Used to see it even at high tide. We're at a mid-low tide right now. We got Gramma Dots here. Doesn't appear open. They do have umbrellas out. Here we are entering Matanzas Pass. It's Bowditch Point Park, which also looked wiped clean. Yeah, so it seems like the higher waters we had, it just washed away all the dead vegetation that Ian destroyed, and it cleaned up the beaches, at least on the interior sandbar islands. Doesn't appear to be any, or not too many boats on the mooring walls over here, and I don't see any sunken ones, so that's good. Doesn't look like much change to the already broken docks over here, municipal docks. Pink Shell Marina is completely empty of boats. They must have told everyone to get out of there. We still have that old sailboat from Hurricane Ian sitting up there next to that damaged house. What we got over here? It's a shipping container that's started floating away. There's a porta potty in the water over there. That's great. Don't drink the water, folks. And the marina looks to be in good shape. They installed these new, I think they're concrete pilings, but all the fingers seem to be in place. Pedestals seem to be in place. Floating docks, so they probably didn't get wet. They just floated to the top. Looking good so far here. There is quite a bit of debris blown up against the shore there, so be very careful. Keep your eyes out if you're coming in here. As that tide shifts, all that stuff will float away. Somebody lost a palm tree there. Some boats on mooring balls. I wonder if they stayed for the storm. A few sailboats, a few catamarans. Now this duck did something funky. All right, coming up on Moss Marine. A lot of the boats are gone. Cruising Tiki boats are still in there. Gas dock is still floating. Oh boy, sunk a catamaran. Or at least listing up on the dock over here at Moss Marine. Oh, another sunk boat. They must have really been bouncing around over here. Over there by the Coast Guard station and Dominion Yachts, there's a pontoon boat flipped upside down on the Coast Guard dock. Looks like one of the rental boats. This is one of our favorite places, Snug Harbor. They are rebuilding, as they always do. Nervous Nellies. They're built up pretty high. Probably just the first floor got some water. Surprised some of the tiki boats and the rental boats are still here. The dinghy dock appears to be damaged yet again. Looks like the ramp fell into the water. They had to repair that after Ian, so I guess the mooring balls are not going to have a dinghy spot anymore for a while. Oh, Matanzas dock just got rebuilt. Wrecked again. Looks like people are up there at the bar. They're probably open. They even have the tables out on the first floor. Matanzas on the bay. Their sign got ripped up though. They've taken a beat in the past few years. All right, now we're here at the restaurant over here by Dock Ford's Dixie Fish Company. What's this one called? I'll put it up there. Now the boat is still there from Hurricane Ian. That didn't float away. That's in there pretty good, I guess. Floating dock for the restaurant here. Bonita Fish Company. That's still looking good. And they are rebuilding and repairing. More dock damage though. So quite a few boats in the mooring field. I'd really like to know if they stayed here for the storm. They look in pretty good shape. I'm guessing they did because that sailboat's sails are all ripped up. One of the safest places to be during a hurricane is at a mooring ball, as long as a mooring ball holds. Dixie Fish Company looks okay, but they're closed. Dock Ford's, sure they got a lot of water on that first floor. Yeah, they're doing all sorts of work there. They are closed. Pontoon flipped over at the dock. Can't remember if that boat was already sunk before this hurricane, this little marina. So we're at pretty low tide now. And this is the sandbar in the middle of Matanzas Bay. Yeah, we got about another half foot or so to go. It's nice to see no boats on the sandbar this time, at least not here. Coming up on the shrimp boats. That building was already damaged. Most of the shrimp boats are still here. They didn't blow ashore this time. Or in Ian, they were all up in there. However, there are a couple shrimp boats out in the middle of the harbor. Listing. Looks like Heart of Ground. All right, coming up on Salty Sam's, which got some major damage too. Salty Sam's pirate ship still afloat, tied up to that big crane barge there. Well, they had some boat and dock damage down here. I was watching Caribbean Castaways video. Not looking too bad from this side, but if you want to see the land side, go check out their channel. He's going to need a crane. Here's the other side of the shrimp boats. Dragon Tails and Night Wind broke free of their mooring over there. Looks like a floating concrete dock over there in front of that motor yacht. And I gotta be careful over here. There's an old sunk sailboat. It's probably been there a while. There's a sailboat with the ripped sails. Lots of debris over there. I wonder where that container came from. There's one of the signs for the mooring field. So overall, not too bad, at least from the water side, but I know it's a disaster up on land. We just didn't have as much high water and a lot less wind from Ian. So from the water side, it doesn't look as bad as it did. But you could hear generators all over. Most people don't have power over here. And it's going to be another long, arduous rebuild. All right, so we're going to start heading back towards Cape Coral again. And one thing I saw from a distance, the Marriott Resort over in Punta Rasa, looks like it got beat up pretty bad. So I'll show you some footage of that also. But other than that, thanks for following along. Best of luck to everybody out there. Wish you could help everybody, but just trying to get the message out. So good luck, and we'll see you next time.